Howdy y'all, it's time for us to finish starting what we already started. Yeah, I'm talking about the diesel engine, not the pony motor. That was last video. Hopefully. Oil pressure came up rather quickly when we got this thing turning with the pony motor. So it did fill up this oil filter housing here and a lot of the other cavities and compartments in here. So I'm going to check the oil and top it off. I know it's going to need a little bit. And we are right at the top of the low, about a ½ an inch above the low mark. I'll put a tad more in. Water level looks good. We're roughly a ½ an inch above the cores in there, which is about where the 22 that we have likes to run. I know Dad's got some work that he wants to do on the starter pinion. We were having trouble getting it to disengage, but he's done some adjustments there. We think we got that fixed, but the other one is that the clutch won't stay engaged, so you can't snap it in. So we're going to do a little adjustments on that today. I'm going to gather up the wrenches I think we're going to need to open up everything to bleed the diesel. And I've really got my fingers crossed that this is going to work. Being that we've been through the whole fuel pump, both fuel pumps, the fuel tower, the injectors, everything. I don't know. We'll see. I think the term is cautiously optimistic. Along with some line wrenches, I've got the 5P 2682 socket. And this is for the bleeder right here and the ones behind these injector barrels. We're going to adjust the pinion, and you can barely see it in there. There's that little adjuster knob, so that needs to pull out that direction, and then we can spin that around. Ooh. You got it unclipped. I heard it pop.
Yeah. What a trick. Oh, there, it just moved. There it went. Now I got to get it to click back in.
We just took everything off the side, but this should give us the access we need to adjust that. And down there in the bottom in that oil, that's the little plunger that dog ears into those grooves.
I think our dogs are wore out.
I do too. We're just going to put this thing together. We ordered new dogs. Caterpillar had them. They're pretty pricey, but we got them ordered. That'll probably be a winter project to pull this pinion back out of here and put those in there. But we'll have to just hold it to get it started, to get it up to the show, if all else goes well. You can see it on the horizon in the dust, so it'll be here shortly. We're hearing the thunder already. I can feel it just now. The temperature dropped probably 10 degrees. It's so much cooler instantly. At the time I'm filming this, it's early August. These kind of rains usually wash out roads. Oh, right there, look. It's right on the edge. We've been messing with this, and we might have got it to a place that'll work, at least temporarily, but this is something we're going to have to address later. I guess we knew those dogs were worn out when we took this thing apart before. We're going to put this back together. One thing that we definitely noticed right away, especially when I came out the next morning and opened up the petcocks on the pony motor cylinders, is that gasoline came out, especially this side, which is a normal issue with these carburetors. They leak like a sieve. That valve doesn't shut off completely, apparently. So I actually got another valve. This is a little brass one made for fuel. I'm just going to install it between the line and the fuel bowl, so as kind of a secondary shut off. Now, you can put a little JB weld and fix those valves, but we kind of want to get this going, and we want to make sure no gas gets in those cylinders and washes the oil out. I've got the sediment bowl valve here, and you can clean that seat and fix it with a little JB weld, but I don't know, this is more of a permanent fix, I think. So we're going to screw that valve in here. I've taken the adapter out that goes to the fuel line right here. Dad's putting a little thread sealer on it. This is a brass valve that's made for fuel, so I think I want it like this. That'll work, and you can go any direction to shut this off and on. This is the most farmer of fixes ever. I'll put a little more thread sealer on there, and then I'll put my adapter in there. This is a contraption we ended up with. We can still turn the fuel on from the tank here, and we can turn it off temporarily to clean the bowl here. But I've got this little inline valve right here that I can shut fuel off, completely go into the carburetor over here to make sure that we don't wash out our cylinders like happened overnight. And the only folly of it is that does put a little extra pressure on the side of this pot metal valve here, but you know, the copper kind of holds it a little bit, and it's not that heavy, and this actually works really smooth. And if you look on the side, it's got a patent number on it, and this is a valve that they started making back in the 1800s, this company, so it doesn't look terrible on this tractor, but it is unfortunately kind of necessary now. We saved the fuel that came out of here, and we're gonna put one of our paint screens in here and screen it to go back in to make sure it didn't get anything in it. And the sediment bowl was pretty much clean. This has got bad news written all over it. Yeah, here, you pour it. I got it.
Not so quick.
I have to go quick. Got oil in the main engine, got oil in the pony motor. All the compartments are oiled. We have water in the radiator. It's good. I think we're ready to start the pony motor. We've gathered up the wrenches we're gonna need to bleed anything here, hopefully. I know that we're gonna have a lot of adjustment to do on linkages and things. That's to be said. I guess we're ready. I'm nervous. We're looking for a block or something to put over the air intake to shut this motor off in case we get a runaway, which I don't think is very likely, but can happen. We know our pinion situation. We've got the parts ordered. We're probably going to have to hold it to keep it engaged. We might have gotten lucky and have a sweet spot that it'll actually stay in. We'll have to see. I'm thinking probably going to have more pinion adjustments. If things go well, then we might try to move this a little bit, see what it does. We're going to pull this through a couple of times to get any of that gas out of these cylinders. We got the petcocks open. It'll blow everything out, and then we'll try and start it. Fun fact, this is the original pull rope handle that was in the toolbox of this machine.
There, it's cleaning up. How about your side?
Yeah. Now I'm going to turn my fuel bowl on. There's our gas. And I'm going to turn on fuel to the pony motor here.
Give it full choke, and I pulled the throttle out about, there's full, or idle, let's go about half throttle.
Okay. You want
full choke.
Turn on your mag. It wants to run.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even say this on here, but we did the biggest rookie mistake. I was bleeding fuel. Everything was going. We were starting to build fuel pressure. And then all of a sudden, no fuel's coming out anywhere. And I'm going, what's going on here? I had the fuel off coming from the main tank here. Ooh. Yeah.
It was at this moment that he knew.
I'm tired. While we have everything shut down, Dad's going to do another little adjustment on the pinion for the starting motor. And I think we can get a handle on it this time. The good news is every fuel barrel I saw pumping, air and everything out. Caterpillar mechanic pro tip: you won't build fuel pressure if you have the fuel off. Just Actually, it's kind of comical that we're adjusting the pinion back where it was initially. It was actually fine.
All right, roll it up and I'll bend
This is what we do. Kind of just cleaning up around here. We're going to pull the valve cover off and check that we're getting good oil pressure up there too. We checked before. I'm not too worried about it, but we're going to double check. Oh yeah, there's oil all over up there. One thing we've had is really good oil pressure, so that's not concerning me at all. I see oil everywhere. Except it doesn't really want to get out here on these valves, which kind of bewilders me. But I think we should squirt some with a can.
That's exactly what my idea is.
So the pinion, it's working okay. It's kind of sticking in place, but it's working. And we kind of did a little tweaking on the throttle linkage here. We lengthened this. One thing we're super happy with, fingers crossed so far, is this pony motor. It starts like a champ. It runs like a champ. And it virtually takes no choke to start it. And that might be more because of our altitude here. We're almost a mile high. But it so far, so good.
Ain't gonna hurt anything.
No, it won't.
It moved.
It runs. It moves. It's got a miss in the engine. I know we got some work to do. We have some fuel leaks to iron out. We ran it about, what, 20 minutes?
20 minutes.
And I kind of rode the clutch a little bit because I didn't want to fall off the tractor, but it pulls it, but it moves. The tracks move. Moved under its own power for the first time in decades, like Dad just said. And 2 years. 2 years. After action report, I guess, we have a bit of seep in the fuel tower. Right here around these gaskets. Fuel pressure wise, it never showed more than in the middle of the red, and that might be because of that. The seat in this bleeder is leaking. This thing was leaking profusely. Temp stayed in the middle of the green.
Actually,
it's in the green. Good. Temp good. Oil pressure was good. We got a little bit of wet stacking, but I guess that's to be expected from new rings and all the work we did with that. No seeps out of the head. We do have an oil leak right here. That's out of the fuel pressure gauge that we need to take care of, but
I don't know if these are leaks too, on these two here. You might look. That one's got fuel, and that one.
That might have just
but
ran
I
down.
don't know if it's...
I bled everything, and I got fuel.
Yeah,
everywhere.
I don't know if it's run down or what.
That's it.
I wonder if our clutch is slipping, our master.
No, it's not slipping. I was riding it.
Okay.
To get it to move, because I didn't want it to buck me off and then roll into our welding bench up here or back there into our oil storage. I'm gonna end this one on a happy note. It's happening again. I'm so glad you're all here with us. This was quite a moment. Our Pody Motors, it's perfect. That carb I rebuilt saved the day. We got some stuff to work on, we know that, but we know it'll run now. And it'll move now. And the tracks will move now. Thanks for watching. This fall, we all have a decision to make. We can fix this. I do labor stuff too. Hey, does anybody know where I can wash my hands? Anybody? This is a chicken. A lot of folks sit on the fence, but you won't find anybody that can lean on a fence quite like I can. And I even got a piece of wheat in my mouth to prove I'm authentic. This is a red tractor behind me, and these tractors are yellow. You will never hear me complain about the heat. Are we done with this? It's getting hot. If you vote for LAOL with your subscription, you'll get someone who never takes life too seriously. Ooh, hot. I drive a pickup truck. Wait a minute. I drive a pickup truck. Are we sure that's what this is? Staring at the sun hurts my eyes. This fall, vote for LAOL with your subscription.